This is the Big D with a disclaimer for this vid, though the original version of this I just took down because the checks on copyright stuff failed to get through completely, and took way too damn long. I had to take it off, and I tried again, but once again failed. So I apologize that you will not see pictures of the movies that I've seen in this video or the next one, so I humbly apologize. Thank you for your understanding. So greetings, my fellow YouTubers. I'm Duel, the Big D. This is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews with a ranking of first-time watches. Now, I'm inspired to do this by watching Ogre Boy 1992's first-time ranking and rewatch ranking, because you'll still see that in two separate parts. But I'm going to try to go rapid fire here for the 22 movies I saw for the first time in April of this year. So, here we go. Number 22 is Leviathan from 1989. Now, this film is a sci-fi horror flick, and it's kind of a ripoff of John Carpenter's The Thing and Aliens, but I think it's an okay movie. I mean, with a pretty good cast that includes Peter Weller, Daniel Stern, Richard Crenna, and several others. Oh yeah, Ernie Hudson. Yeah, this film's still not too bad. It was one of those underwater movies that came out in '89, along with The Abyss and Deep Star 6, which I was going to watch, but I turned it down, but I'll probably watch it this month. So it's not too bad of a movie in ways. Next at number 21, another '89 flick, Parents, starring Randy Quaid. This is kind of a dark comedy horror flick. It didn't quite scare me too much at first, but it did get a little bit better. But I'll need to rewatch it another time, and if it's better, then maybe I'll review it. I gotta say, this is just so twisted and what have you. If you haven't seen it, I think give it a try. This film may not have done so well, but still, it's worth a try if you're like dark comedy with some horror in it. Next, number 20 is The Deadpool from 1988. Now, this is the last Dirty Harry film starring Clint Eastwood. Now, it's my least favorite of the Dirty Harry series, but it's still got some good action. It's just because it's so short and what have you. It's just about an hour and a half. It also features a young Jim Carrey. Maybe not young, but before he even became a big star. Let's see, and Evan Kim, who actually appears in one of the movies on this list, and he played Harry's partner in this. Yeah, this film's not completely bad. I know that it had Guns N' Roses' "Welcome to the Jungle" played in, well, one of the parts of the movie, which that was pretty cool. So the Deadpool, it's okay, in between okay, and okay good, you know. Number 19 is Thunder Force, recent Netflix film. And while I know a lot of people or everybody doesn't like this movie for certain reasons, and I can understand. But I on the other hand absolutely had a fun blast with this. Melissa McCarthy is funny most of the time, but not a whole lot. Octavia Spencer is really good in this. It was surprisingly surprising that Jason Bateman appeared in this. But anyway, yeah, it's pretty good. Well, from my point of view anyway, but not great though. Number 18 is The Gong Show movie from 1980. Now, I grew up watching reruns of this show, starring the show's creator, host, producer Chuck Barris, who, of course, I recently talked about one of his game shows, Three's a Crowd, not so long ago. Now, this film is just so crazy. It just kind of follows the life of Barris a little bit, and well, in ways, and it also features unedited clips of the Gong Show that they didn't show you on TV. Like, for example, J.P. Morgan flashing her tits off at someone. Yeah, crazy. You'll actually see her make a cameo appearance in this, along with several other Gong Show contestants, and, well, contestants or alumni in this one scene where they sing this crazy song while Chuck's out in this desert. Those include the Unknown Comic and Gene the Dancing Machine. Yeah, the film's okay, but it has some funny moments though. Let's see, number 17 is Airport 77 from 1977. While the film has a pretty good all-star cast that includes Jack Lemmon and Jimmy Stewart, Lee Grant, and George Kennedy, who of course appeared in the first two movies, and a host of others. This film's not too bad. While it might not have been as well received as the other two, I still thought it was fun, especially while seeing the plane crash into the water and being there for most of this movie. Yeah, it was pretty suspenseful. But I still liked it because of that. Number 16 is The Secret of My Success from 1987. Now, the Diegler Reviews, who I subscribe to, brought this on his Michael J. Fox ranking. And I checked it out, and I thought it was pretty good. Not one of Michael J's best, though, but still pretty good, though. I mean, he's absolutely great in this movie. Helen Slater is really good in this. I just really think what Michael J's character does in this movie is really good. It's pretty fun. Number 15 is The Last House on the Left from 2009. Now, although I've seen the original version, which was directed by the late, great Wes Craven, along with a little help from Sean Cunningham, which I'll review that in this later on down the road. But this film's pretty brutal and a little bit more bloodier than the original in ways. But both films are pretty good in ways. Yeah, about two girls who get kidnapped and get brutally taken down by these bad people, and the parents decide to get revenge on them. Yeah, Sarah Paxton's good, and we have Tony Goldwyn and Monica Potter. They're all pretty good. Okay, next number 14 is Lucio Fulci's Zombie from 1979. Now, I didn't know what to think of this, but after watching it, it was just so good in ways. I love the goriness, the bloodiness. Yeah, especially how these zombies get the people and what have you. That's just wow. But it's pretty creepy and freaky though. Yeah, but I still liked it though. Number 13 is Sorority House Massacre from 1986. Now, this film is with the other, is considered to be a massacre flick of the 80s, like the Slumber Party Massacre, given the fact it was from the same studio that did the later sequels, as well as Chopping Mall. But anyway, enough about those. Sorority House Massacre, I thought was pretty good. I mean, I liked how it continued the massacre flavor and what have you, but taking place at a sorority house. Characters aren't too bad. I might think of reviewing that sometime. But I know I'll do the next one on the list. Number 12 is The House by the Cemetery from 1981. Another Lucio Fulci movie. Now, this film, I went into this and I really liked it. It was really good. As much as Zombie was, it's really bloody and gory. I mean, the casting of characters were really good in ways. The story's not too bad, but the strange creature doing the killings was really freaky. But I still thought that's what I could get from an Italian horror flick. Since I've seen some of Dario Argento's work, and I need to watch more of this. Considering I've told everybody I've been intending to watch some more, and I just haven't gotten to it. But rest assured, that's going to happen. But anyway, The House by the Cemetery is pretty good. Number 11 is Mortal Kombat 2021, the brand new one, which I went and saw a week ago. If you've not seen my spoiler-free review, check it out. Now, this may have got a mixed response, but a little bit better than the original one or its sequel. With an R rating, this was a bloody, gory blast. I mean, the characters were really good. Well, including Kano, but I couldn't handle his humor all the time much, unfortunately. But everybody else was Absolutely really good. And we did get to hear some of the famous lines, like in the video games, we get to hear flawless victory, and and come over, get over here, come over here, whatever. But anyway, that's really something. Mortal Kombat 2021, it's pretty good. Okay, for the top 10, number 10 is Sudden Impact from 1983, the next to last Dirty Harry movie. Clint Eastwood directed this. I will say it's a mixed bag. It's pretty good, especially when he does his famous catchphrase. That's a little bit more than what we can imagine. Go ahead, make my day. Yeah. Which, of course, that would be later turned into a song the following year by country singer T.G. Shepherd. Yeah. Anyway, which that's almost make my day. Um, Sandra Locke appears in this, and she's certainly no stranger to Eastwood's flicks, if you know what I'm saying. Who plays the Bat Gal in this? Yeah. But even so, I think Sudden Impact's pretty good in ways. Like I said, it's a mixed bag, but it still provides the good action I got from the other Dirty Harry movies. Number 9 is The Sentinel from 1977. Now, this is another film that I thought would check out after seeing it on the Diegler Reviews 1970s horror flick ranking. I thought it was pretty good. I mean, since it had a pretty good cast, which include Chris Sarandon before Child's Play or Friday Night. The woman who played the lead actress, who happened to be a supermodel in this, was really something. But we got great performances from everyone. We got to see Christopher Walken, Beverly D'Angelo, Burgess Meredith. Oh, the list goes on. But this was a real shocking flick. I mean, as much as I like films with a demonic feel that's occurring, like say Rosemary's Baby or The Exorcist or heck even The Omen, The Sentinel comes right up there with. Number 8 is Airport 75 or 1975 from 1974. This film I thought was pretty good. I've only seen bits of the film, which that same thing goes with Sudden Impact. I've only seen bits and pieces of it, but anyway, it's the first time I've watched the film in its entirety. And this film, most of the film story kind of inspired the events for Airplane a few years later. I will say that this has a real good all star cast with way too many people to mention, but even so, I liked it. And how the suspense and drills go. Oh yeah, Helen Ray's in this makes one of her first appearances in a movie before the original Pete's Dragon. Really good. But anyway, Airport 75, definitely a pretty good movie. Number 7 is Godzilla vs. Kong, which I went and saw earlier last month. And I will say this film's very good. Now, while I've yet to review the first 2 installments of the MonsterVerse movie, since I did a quickie review of Godzilla King of Monsters, I will say that this film's just so much fun to watch. I like the battle sequences. While the humor doesn't get to me, well, kind of doesn't. Didn't too feel comfortable with some of the humor, or I know there was slow pacing and all, but even so, this had an epic battle sequence. I really liked Godzilla vs Kong. It was pretty good. Number 6 is Promising Young Woman from last year in 2020. Now, this is a really good flick. I mean, the woman who plays the lead character definitely does a great job of getting revenge on all those people after she's been traumatized for so long. I thought this film was pretty good. I was going to see it, but never did get up to it. But even so, Promising Young Woman, it's definitely worth looking into. Okay, for the final 5, Number 5 is the Kentucky Fried Movie from 1977. Now, this is the film I was talking about that had Evan Kim in it. Of course, the same year this came out, he also starred voicing Mercury in Filmation's animated series, the Space Sentinels, although that was originally known as the Young Sentinels first. And he's also appeared in lots of other things, including the two-part series finale, The Secrets of Isis. He appears in a kind of a Enter the Dragon parody. This is a parody of all sorts of things: movies, movie trailers, commercials, news reports, etc., 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 etc. And it's from the same writers who would later go on to write and direct Airplane. Yeah, this film's an absolute blast. I think y'all give it a watch. You will definitely enjoy it. I'll talk about that in a future review. Number 4 is Caddyshack from 1980. Now, although I've only seen bits and pieces of this, I can't recall watching this in its entirety completely. But in this film, which was Harold Ramis's directorial debut, he really does a great job in directing this flick with Chevy Chase, Bill Murray, Ted Knight, and Rodney Dangerfield. I gotta say, it's just absolutely funny. I love the gopher in this. It's really funny. I mean, and we know this was probably the funniest golfing flick way before Happy Gilmore came along. And of course it has Kenny Loggins' great song "I'm All Right," which that's really good. Can't go wrong with Caddyshack. I've come to like it now. Number 3 is another 1980s flick, and that being the Blues Brothers. Now, I've only seen bits and pieces of this as well, and I have seen the sequel, Blues Brothers 2000 from 1998, but I realize this one's much better with Dan Aykroyd and the late great John Belushi, who unfortunately died 2 years later. But he and Aykroyd really did put on an act of this since they did this act back starting in 1978 on Saturday Night Live as Jake and Elwood Blues. Definitely a very fun movie, especially with all those cameos you get from Aretha Franklin, Cap Calloway, Ray Charles. Oh, the list goes on. It's pretty funny. I laughed my head off through a lot of this movie when I watched it on IFC, but it was so much fun. All right, now for the final 2. This was a tough decision, so please don't hate me. Number 2 is the original True Grit from 1969. Now, I had been wanting to see this for years and never got up to it. And although I do have it on VO cassette as part of my dad's old movie collection, even though he's been dead for the past 6 years, because I watched this on the day he died. I gotta say, this was pretty good. And with the story taking place in Fort Smith, which of course I've been there numerous times because the city I live in is not too far away. It's just a few miles. It's just Fort Smith's not too far away from where I live because I'm in Arkansas. But anyway, John Wayne is absolutely superb in this. I liked young Kim Darby in this. But it was Glenn Campbell in his first big movie role that was definitely really good. I absolutely really loved the True Grit. I haven't seen the remake though with Jeff Bridges. If I happen to find it again, I will certainly look into it. I don't think it'd be as good as this one though, but this is certainly a good movie. And finally, my number 1 first time watch of April 2021 is the recently released new Netflix animated feature, The Mitchells vs. the Machines. Now, if you've not seen my spoiler free review of it, you should. Which I'll give that in the other 2 movies I recently did spoiler free reviews of at the end. Now, this is a new film from Sony Pictures Animation. It's from the guys who gave us Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and well, what can I say? This film was a blast. I love the story, the characters, their voiceovers, everything. It was just so much fun that I could even imagine. And of course, this film was originally supposed to come to us last year as Connected, but they changed the name and it came to Netflix. But what can I say? It was just so much fun. Taking on those robots and what have you. It's really something. I really loved it. It was just so much fun. Okay, and that's that. So, tell me what you thought about this ranking in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button below. Subscribe to my channel as well. Be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you my re-watches of April 2021, but which will still be in 2 parts. Thanks for watching. If you like this, see these other 3 vids that I've just talked about. The upper left-hand corner is the review of Godzilla vs. Kong. The upper right-hand corner is the review of Mortal Kombat 2021. The bottom left-hand corner is the review of The Mitchells vs. The Machines. The bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe to my channel. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.